Keep it locked with your boy on the ones and twos. Going in on the wheels of steel.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball. That's the truth.
Snare and hard kick. This is it. The cocaine and the crack. They all sound the same to me.
There's a war going on outside. No man is safe from.
That's how I'm living.
That's how we do it. That's just the way it is.
That's the reason why I came to you.
Drink and women and money.
That's right, Las Vegas, all my sports bettors around the world. You're rocking with the boss of the big board, JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express waking you up early in the morning this Saturday, April 15th. You only got 3 days left to pay those taxes. Be sure to get them in. You don't want that government leaning on you. You guys know what time it is. Time to wake up and grab your bankroll and beat the line. KSHP AM 1400s, where you can get me every Saturday and Sunday morning. Got a little bit of static in the line here. You guys already know when you're bringing that grease, the board's got to wake up for you. But again, got the NBA playoffs starting up this weekend. Finally got rid of that play-in stuff. You guys already know I'm not too big of a fan of that. But we're going to tell you where to get the money today. 4 games on the line today. And you guys can watch these games on Fubo TV. Go over to FuboTV.com/JB. I'm hooking you up with 7 days free and 15% off your first month. Don't get cable to get Fubo TV. Guys, I'm telling you, if you're going to stay locked into the NBA today, this is where you're going to want to stay tuned. AM 1400 KSHP. Want to give a shout out to my main man, Mark Hayes, putting this together as our line producer and station director. Got 4 games on the line today in the Eastern Conference. Got the Brooklyn Nets, Philadelphia 76ers, New York Knicks, Cleveland Cavaliers. Also got Atlanta at Boston, and then going out west, you got the Battle of the Bay Area, Golden State versus Sacramento. You guys are going to want to stay tuned because I got my main man, Ron, Third Down Best Bets, coming back on the line with me this weekend to give you more picks to put cash in your pocket this NBA playoff season. So stay tuned. Keep it locked. You know what time it is. Time to grab your bankroll. Hit the window. Let's get that money.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball. JBTHETICKET. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that grease.
STN Sports is the only sports betting app you need this season. STN Sports has it all. In-play betting, mobile parlay cards, the Play Plus card to fund and withdraw from anywhere in Nevada, and the latest lines on every game. STN Sports even lets you earn rewards on every bet. Safe and easy betting from your phone or tablet. Go to StationCasinoSports.com or sign up at any Station Casino, Fiesta Wildfire, or the El Cortez. Details at the sportsbooks.
Basketball season is heating up, so stay in the game with Fubo TV. Get the NBA, NCAA, FIBA, and more. Get 7 days free at VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Don't get cabled. Get Fubo TV.
The Farmer's Burger from Farmer Boys. Beef, bacon, cheese, hand-smashed avocado, and fresh veggies. Best burger champ. That's how we drop the mic. Farmer Boys, farm food ain't fast food. Farmer Boys' new always crispy fries stay crispier and tastier all the way home. If they make it home.
Sharing is caring.
Farmer Boys, farm food ain't fast food.
You're tuned into the VSX Digital Sports Network.
You heard it here first. Another exclusive track.
Right now.
The DJ keeping the party going. The DJ keeping the party going all night long.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball.
That's right, Las Vegas, all my sports bettors around the world. JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express, back at you live. Got my main man, Ron, Third Down Best Bets. I just heard you on the line, Ron. How you doing this morning?
That's right.
Are you ready for the NBA? It's time to turn it up early. Waking you up early in the morning here in Las Vegas. Ron, I couldn't hear you. Go ahead.
I am wonderful. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good, man. So glad to have you back. You guys, this is Ron Third Down, Best Bets VSX Digital Sports contributor. You can follow him over on Instagram at RaiderHawk1. Want to give you guys an update. Want to make sure you're getting your bets in online. If you guys can go over to betus.com, you guys are going to be able to get a brand new coupon code. That's right, for VSX, giving you 125% bonus on your deposit up to $2,500. So when you go to betus.com, be sure to write down and use this coupon code VSX125. So, Ron, again, thank you so much for coming back on the show this morning. I know you've been dealing with a lot out in California. You got the Lakers in the playoffs. You got the Sacramento Kings in the playoffs. These guys are back. Golden State Warriors. You know, unfortunately, Texas couldn't represent like that this year in the NBA. But anyway, moving along into this, it was an eventful week in the NBA. We had the start of the NBA playoffs with that play-in tournament. We saw the Thunder beat the Pelicans and then get sacrificed to the Timberwolves, so that didn't go out too well. And then the Lakers ended up beating the Timberwolves in their little bit of a play-in game or something like that. I'm kind of looking at this on NBA.com, but it looks like the Lakers in the first round are going to be going up against the Grizzlies. So talk to me a little bit about what you see in this NBA playoff format structure, because I know they've changed it from back in the day how it was. It's like, look, top 8 teams, you go, you battle it out, 3-game series, 5-game series, 7-game series. Now that we've got the play-in tournament, from a betting perspective, I think it really does kind of affect going forward the teams that kind of started early. Like if you look at the Lakers having to play in that play-in tournament to get started, you look at a team like the Miami Heat coming out of the Atlantic Division in the Eastern Conference, still sliding in. How can you focus on a betting line with a team that kind of, at this point, never really had a stop to their season? Some of the other teams maybe had a couple of days rest or what have you, but from the perspective of the Miami Heat, LA Lakers, talk to me, Ron, about what you think this new format is going to be affecting some of these teams that had to go through that play-in process. Go ahead.
Well, personally, I don't like the play-in format. I wish it'd go back to the original eight teams in format. I thought that was the way it was. It should be, there was a top 8 teams in the conference, and let's do this. Teams are getting a second chance now for resting guys through the year and giving away games. You shouldn't be rewarded for that, And my Dallas Mavericks are a prime example. They screwed it up bad.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it from the perspective, like I said before, of betting, and you've got coaches, for example, Billy Donovan, moving into the pro ranks, coming out of the college ranks, Chicago Bulls, 40-42. I mean, 20 years ago, these guys wouldn't have been in the playoffs with a record like that, but they get in the play-in tournament, beat the Raptors, move up to play the Heat, get sacrificed to the Heat. The Heat are now going up against the number 1 in the Eastern Conference, Milwaukee Bucks. So like I said before, it is a change, a little bit different, but we're still here to make money. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Again, my main man, Ron Third Down Best Bets. Follow him on Instagram at RaiderHawk1. So again, Ron, talking about some of the games today, when you got the Eastern Conference really lining it up, you got Brooklyn, you got Philadelphia, New York, Cleveland, Atlanta. Somehow they snuck in the back door. We talked about them last week, possibly not even getting in. Boston. Is this the year the Boston Celtics finally go to the NBA Finals and win another one? Because like I said before, it's not like they're not of championship caliber form. They've got some really good players on that team. But just, again, the way the NBA playoffs is set up, do you think that Boston is possibly could run the table in the Eastern Conference? And then we'll get into some of these picks. Go ahead.
I do. I think Milwaukee is the only team that really presents a significant challenge to them at this point. Milwaukee's a pretty tough team, and they're battle-tested as well. They got some veterans. And that's it's going to be those two, in my opinion. The Sixers, maybe if they can stay hot, but they need to show consistency over a long period. I mean, they got hot right before the playoffs. But, I definitely think Boston's definitely a factor, but it's going to be them in Milwaukee in the Eastern Finals, in my opinion.
All right, so let's jump into it, talking about these NBA games today, brought to you by Fubo TV. Go over to FuboTV.com/JB. 15% off, 7 days free. So let's get into it. Rotation number 501, the Brooklyn Nets going down to 95 to Philadelphia. Rotation number 502, 76ers minus 8.5 on the line. You know I'm not a big fan of that. Very expensive for the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, last week you guys were able to pick up that grease and put some cash in your pocket with us when we told you to take them on the money line as a road dog. But now that this is the matchup we told you last week would most likely happen in the NBA playoffs with the Brooklyn Nets going against the Philadelphia 76ers, plus 8.5. We know that Brooklyn is a mess right now. They've got all types of front office problems, trading away all their stars. The whole Ben Simmons situation going on up there. These guys getting in the playoffs. What do you think about the rest of that team? Because if you look at it from betting, if you look at it from what their record is and where they should be, taking a look at that record right now, if you look at the Brooklyn Nets, overall 45-37, 22-19 on the road, 41-39 against the spread. This is a pretty big spread for them to try to cover on the road, like you said, with a very hot Philadelphia team. What do you think, Ron? Go ahead.
That's going to be a tough game for the Nets. I mean, Brooklyn looked really good initially after the trade deadline, and then it kind of just came back to normal. So a lot of that record was, pre-trade deadline. They still had Kyrie and Durant. So I think it's going to be a tough game for Brooklyn. 8 points is a pretty big spread, but I actually think Philadelphia's actually. I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna say take the Sixers and the spread today.
He's telling you take the Sixers in the spread. Rotation number 502, Philadelphia 76ers. Give a shout-out to my main man, Linwood Hard Rock Hamilton, Philadelphia native and legend, Soul City Wrestling, all the stuff that he was able to do. Moving down the line to the NBA playoffs. And again, guys, I'm taking a look at some of these lines, and I'm just like, wow, what is the book doing today, man? Are these guys trying to really tell us something about these dogs? And just to mention, the Brooklyn Nets at rotation number 501 plus 290 got another huge money line today. The Atlanta Hawks. We know these guys are having problems with Trae Young. I think he tried to take a swing at the coach or something a couple days ago. I'm like, wow. You know what I mean? So when you look at it from that perspective and you say, when you got Trae Young coming in, he doesn't want to be there, a lot of turmoil, plus 9 on the money line. The Atlanta Hawks, rotation number 503 at plus 9 on the money line. You got the Boston Celtics, like you said, number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, rotation number 504, minus 9, minus 400 for them. Atlanta Hawks, plus 320. Total is 231. This is a game that, in my opinion, should be a blowout for the Celtics. But the Atlanta Hawks are playing somehow with some fire. Somehow they got through that play-in game. And, I mean, when you saw what they were able to do with, the Miami Heat coming in, getting a few wins, moving into the Celtics spot, the Heat moving up, beating the Bulls. I mean, there were so many different opportunities for some of these teams to come in and be a little bit more dominant than you would think they would be. But now the Atlanta Hawks, the Celtics, number 2 in the Eastern Conference. Do you think this is going to be one of those quick wipeout series because of all the trouble with the Hawks? Or are the Celtics just not quite gelled yet? Because 57-25, very good team. But, again, some of those losses they had during the season didn't make a lot of sense to me. Go ahead, Ron.
They should pretty much just go through this series pretty quick. They really should. I mean, they're a much better team to start. They're way more balanced. They have much better scoring. Atlanta I'm surprised they actually turned it around the way they did to actually get in. They were struggling there, and then, boom, they kind of turned it on at the end. But I don't think Atlanta has enough to take Boston down. I really don't.
I mean, when you talk about what they were able to do over Tuesday's victory, beating Miami again in the play-in tournament. Trae Young, he had 25 points. You had Clint Capella. He's been a journeyman in the NBA. He was able to add in 21. Quinn Snyder, another one of these college coaches moving into the NBA. Now he's getting some playoff experience. When it comes down to coaching, what do you think it's going to be from the perspective of saying, look, you got the guys up in Boston. We know what you're facing. You got Jason Tatum averaging 30 points a game this year. This guy really has stepped up. You got Jaylen Brown, 26 points a game. So right there, you're talking about 56 points a game. Who on the Hawks team is going to be able to stop these two guys? Because, again, if you talk about an NBA that has a dearth of stars, if you actually look at talent and what guys are able to produce, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are 2 of the best, if not the best duo in basketball. who do the Hawks have to throw at them today to possibly get inside that 9.5? I don't see it, but let's talk about it from the betting perspective. Do you think the Hawks are a dog that could be barking today? Go ahead.
Not really. And if the Hawks I don't see them matching that.
Yeah.
Boston's a good team. Last year, people forget they had the issue with the head coach going on behind the scenes. We don't know how much the team knew. I mean, they could have been in disarray the whole time. This year, they're focused. There's no drama off the court. And I like the Celtics. I really do. I think they're going to blow right through this series.
Well, yeah, I mean, Coach Joe Mazzulla's kind of got that old-school NBA coaching mentality, and I think that he knows the talent he has. He lets these guys shine, but they also very good rebounding team. So I'm telling you right now, I like the Boston Celtics in that game. Total 230.5. It's a very expensive game. Do you think these guys could possibly get a high-scoring game? I know Trae Young could possibly light it up. He could go for 40 today, but 56 points just out of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. I think that's going to be the difference maker from the totals perspective. But go ahead, 230. You think that's a little bit high?
I think it's a little bit high. It's obtainable, but I think it's a little bit high. No. I think Boston's going to defensively. I think that's going to be one of the bigger people I'm going to talk about. I think Boston's a pretty decent defensive team. People don't talk about. In Atlanta, they don't play real good defense. So
really don't.
Trae Young, he's easy to stop when you got 2-3 guys, in his face.
Right, I'm telling you. Moving along down to the Eastern Conference again. Games being brought to you by Fubo TV. Go over to FuboTV.com/JB. I'm giving you 15% off and 7 days free. Rotation number 505, the New York Knicks, finally back in the playoffs, man. We haven't said that in a long time. Whatever Thibodeau is doing, that 8th grade coaching, it picked up in the end of the season. New York on the road today at Cleveland, +5, +170 on the money line. Now the Cleveland Cavaliers picked up Donovan Mitchell and got right back to playoff form in the Eastern Conference. -5, -200. So this, in my opinion, is the best priced game, and you guys can get these lines over at betus.com. Use offer code VSX125, giving you 125% bonus on your initial deposit. And yes, we pay out in cash. So talking to you about this New York Knicks Cleveland Cavaliers game. Total is 217.5. I think these are two evenly matched teams. I think the Knicks, it's feast or famine with them, but getting into the playoffs, I think that if you look at it from the perspective of coaching, who's the better coach in this situation? Because, like I said, I don't really like what I see out of Thibodeau, the way he coaches. I mean, it's successful. It's getting into the playoffs. But do you think Thibodeau can finally get over the hump in the playoffs with these guys? Because, like I said before, if you look at their players versus the Cavaliers players, it's pretty evenly matched. But go ahead, Ron.
Well, I hate to be selfish, but I'm stuck on thinking if Jalen Brunson was still in Dallas with Kyrie and Luka, man, that's what they were missing.
That ain't helping nobody. Go ahead.
Thibodeau, in my opinion, I really think he's coaching for his job in this playoffs. I really do. I mean, the Knicks fans are hungry. They smell it. They're a good team. Are they a championship team? I don't personally think so. But they are close, and if they can get hot, get the right matchup, get on a run, it's possible. But I think he really is coaching for his life. I really do, because I'm surprised he's still there. Nick, I mean, the owner, he blames him for the peanuts being stale. He usually blames the head coaches. So,
right.
I mean, I'm surprised he's there. He's done a good job, in my opinion. But his style is a little rough, and it's not rubbing right with some guys. So, but he's got to win. He's got to do something competitive, or he's going to be gone. I think.
Sounds like a dog that's barking. Sounds like a dog that's barking. I do like the Knicks and the points. I think it's going to be their first playoff game in many, many seasons. Cleveland, though. Let's talk about these Cleveland Cavaliers. No one has really talked about them. Let's talk about some of the betting. When the Cleveland Cavaliers came into this season with Donovan Mitchell, everyone kind of looked at them as a rebuild. But to see where these guys have gone this season, the Cleveland Cavaliers, shout out to my main man, Zach Weiss, Across the Cavs podcast. He is always on Sports Grid, too, moving up in the game. Cleveland Cavaliers, man, dangerous team in the East. You guys want to take a look at rotation number 506. I do like the Knicks in the points just simply because it's a little bit cheaper price. And like I said before, if you take a look at it from a pricing perspective, this is the best price game. So when I get back from this short commercial break, got my main man, Ron Third Down Best Bets, talking more NBA, getting into this West Coast Golden State versus Sacramento, so you guys are going to want to stay tuned. Keep it locked here. AM 1400 KSHP. Keep it locked and stay tuned. Golden State, Sacramento. Talking more about this NBA playoffs and maybe do a little bit of bread and circus. Got some interesting comments from UNC's head coach, Mack Brown. Guy's been coaching for 10,000 years in college football. Going to want to talk about some of the changes of what he is seeing in his insights. So you guys keep it locked here at KSHP, AM 1400. Follow the show on Twitter at We Beat the Line. Follow me on Instagram at JBTHETICKET. I'm giving you grace, waking you up early. Let's get some money.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JBTHETICKET.
Giving you that grease. Basketball season is heating up, so stay in the game with Fubo TV. Get the NBA, NCAA, FIBA, and more. Get 7 days free at VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Don't get cabled. Get Fubo TV.
Vegas Scoreboard Express, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 6 on AM 1400 KSHP North Las Vegas. Online at KSHP.com.
The best choice for convenience, comfort, and value, My Place hotels are ideal for both short-term and long-term travelers. The rooms at My Place features pillow-top mattresses, microfiber bedding, and a variety of soft and firm pillows. All extended stay rooms offer their own kitchen, which includes a full-size refrigerator and a cooktop. On-site laundry facilities are also available for extended stays at pet-friendly My Place hotels. Book your stays online at myplacehotels.com. My Place Hotels, St. George and West Jordan, Utah. Make My Place your place.
You're tuned into the VSX Digital Sports Network.
You're listening to the boss of the big bar,
If you have money, you can buy anything.
JBTHETICKET.
Fire, more heat.
Vegas Scoreboard Express.
Giving you that grease.
That's right, Las Vegas. All my sports bettors around the world. You're rocking with the boss of the big board, JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express, live here at KSHP AM 1400 Studios in Las Vegas. Follow the show on Twitter at We Beat the Line. Follow me on Instagram at JBTHETICKET. Of course, go to my website, VegasScoreboardExpress.com for all the daily deals. And, of course, for you businesses out there looking to get some sponsorships, looking to get your name out there early in the morning. If you got early morning deals, little breakfast house, coffee house, check out my ad sales website, VSXDigitalSportsNetwork.com. That is where we will hook you up, get you an ad. Digital ads, we got a full ad service, people. Video, audio, you name it. Copyrighted music, we get it self-produced. You guys need to get on the radio. Radio still reaches more ears and, believe it or not, eyes due to the internet and all the social media than most other avenues. And talking about a little bit of something to do with social media, my main man Ron Third Down Best Bets back on the line with me here. Going to give you a little bit of bread and circus in this segment. It's a new show that I got coming out this summer during the Sports Law Bread and Circus. Again, you guys are going to want to stay tuned and check that out here. KSHP AM 1400, going to be a late night show. Going to get a little greasy with it, man. You guys already know what time it is. I'm going to be breaking it down. Telling you the real deal inside of what's going on in sports. Going to give you a little taste of that today. Talking about the NIL. Ron, you're still on the line with us. Go ahead.
I'm still here, brother.
All right. Thank you so much for being on it. Ron Third Down Best Bets. Follow him on Instagram at RaiderHawk1. So, Ron, you know we've been talking about this. I think we were the first show to really start talking about this from an educational standpoint, from a sports betting standpoint, but also just from a reality standpoint, okay? College football, college basketball, college sports in general right now is going through a serious change. And right now we are talking the main focus on college football because we got the NFL draft coming up again. NFL draft coming up, guys. You guys are going to want to pick that up Again on Fubo TV coming up at the end of the month. So talking about this NFL draft, you guys know April 27th. College football, we got UNC head coach Mack Brown. This guy's been coaching a long time. He's a septuagenarian. He knows football. He's been around it pretty much his whole life, 50 years in the profession. Got this article today from a friend of mine, sent it over for SportsIllustrated.com. And essentially the headline was, we're the NFL. Mack Brown basically said what we've always known and what was kind of out there. But he put it out there. We're the NFL with the current NIL model. So when you talk about it from that perspective, he brought up a few things. His quote was, we're the mini NFL. You know, it's just like the NFL. That's where we're headed. We will never see amateurism again. There goes that word. It's gone. I hate it. I thought that's who we were, what college football is. Now we are a farm league for the NFL with many NFL programs. We're headed towards an NFL model. So when you talk about it from that perspective, very respectful to head coach Mack Brown. Again, UNC Tar Heels head coach. I thank him for finally putting it out there and being an elder statesman in college football and an elder statesman in coaching, one of the last few hanging around from the old school era. Do you think he's got some validity to that, Ron? Because I do. And one of the things that I've talked about for the last 4 or 5 years is that with college football, college basketball, mainly college football now, this NIL thing, when it finally passed, who's paying these kids? Where's the value? Where's the marketing? Where do we see it? And like I said before, the schools pass the buck over to third-party companies, and it's essentially the same system that was in place before, which was so demonized by the NCAA, all these investigations. Now Mack Brown is essentially saying, look, we're hiding behind NIL. So when you talk about the NIL as something that's a benefit to the player, how is it a benefit to the player when you have, again, we talked about this on our other Bread and Circus show that got this started. Go to my website, guys. Check it out, VegasScoreboardExpress.com. These coaches do not care. They do not want these kids to get paid. That word amateurism again. So it's like, okay, now, during the years where the kids were really superstars, and you know you've seen that earthquake shift, okay? Reggie Bush has always been my example. He was NFL ready, superstar on billboards all over L.A., kids wearing his jersey. That Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, and, that running back, Lindell White. That power three was all over college football. Vince Young, when he beat them, he then rocketed to the pinnacle. I think he was like the top 3 pick, went to the Titans, stunk it up. You know how that went. But like I said, these guys were marketable, though. They were marketable. They were marketable. You knew who they were. You saw them in commercials. You saw them in different ads and things like that. But now I think, like I said before, in this new age of quote-unquote celebrity, athletes don't have any more sway. You know, between the political malaise that they find themselves in, making comments about subjects they don't really understand, and then going to their play, load management, taking more money than necessary, not winning championships, not bringing home any sort of bacon for the city, if you will. But again, the greater society is more caught up with celebrity. So when you take a college athlete, especially now, we just got out of March Madness, where is the celebrity? No one knows who these kids are. Like I said, the only celebrity we saw, the women's championship, shout out Kim Mulkey for winning that. But she got screwed because of the whole controversy and all the stuff that one of her players were doing. I mean, this is stuff that you just didn't see. How is that marketable? And when you talk about it from the college football perspective, Anthony Richardson, like I said, workout warrior, shows up to the NFL draft and shoots up the draft board. But you didn't see him all season. He wasn't even a main starter. So how is that going to be valuable to these players, to these leagues, if you will, to the sport? And then from a sports betting perspective, again, here's the proof. A coach has already said, kids are getting played. I hate that it's not amateurism anymore. I thought that's what we were about. And we'll talk about that word a little bit. What does amateurism mean? But now that the kids can actually get paid, I'm wondering who's paying them, What are they paying them? What are they paying them for? That's a question that Mac Brown actually had in the article because no one is seeing them market anything. Ron, let me get some of your thoughts on this. Going back to the original statement, amateurism, the way the coaches feel, and the way that this thing is set up. Do you think it's going to be tenable going forward? Because, again, the NIL is really that elephant in the room that no one is talking about, and we're not talking about the Alabama Crimson Tide. because these coaches are now, again, when you got a young lady like Angel Reese making $1 million, making her statements, and not really thinking about it from the larger perspective of an alumni network, I mean, that would have been great news. LSU, national championship, market yourself. But you got caught up in somewhat of a controversy, making these internet comments. So, again, going back to what I was saying before, do you think this is an actual tenable system? You got Mac Brown saying in college football, what we've all known for years, they're the NFL farm system. Do you think there just has to be even more, quote-unquote, change within that, change the rules or something? Because what we're seeing right now, it's just the legitimization on paper of what they've always been doing. Boosters kicking these kids money. But, Ron, go ahead.
Yes, you're right. The validity of his statement, I agree with 100%. This has become free agency. College football is free agency now. That's why he's saying that the NFL. You have kids. I'm a big USC fan. I watched the recruiting. There's kids that were locked into USC. I'm going to SC. I visited 4 times. I love this place. They signed with Ohio State at the last second. Why is that? And I'm just using Ohio State, USC as examples. I'm not trying to call teams out. It's because he got more NIL money. It's free agency now. That's what Mac Brown is trying to say, and I agree with that. It is free agency. The kids do need to get paid. It is a good thing. They need to tweak the system. The kids have to be paid. They have to be compensated. I want to make that clear. They do have to be paid.
But, Ron, let me talk to you a little bit about that because, again, I was just at the NIT championship here in Las Vegas. Again, shout out to those boys who played in that. We're also on a milk carton. Nobody knows who they are, what they did. Haven't been on any morning TV shows. I mean, and if you got any of you college athletes out there, I'm just telling you right now, Uncle JB thinks you're getting hosed. But anyway, like I said before, when you look at where these kids are as far as their marketability, in my opinion, they don't have any because I haven't seen them getting marketed to anyone, not even online. You know what I mean? And when you say paying the kids, again, going back to the NIT, all I saw in the arena, in the gallery where you buy souvenirs, NIT branded merchandise. That's it. There wasn't a player jersey. Not one. Not one. Not even a T-shirt with a player number on it. It all said NIT and for the university. We talked about this on our NIL show. Again, I implore each and every one of you guys, go to my website, VegasScoreboardExpress.com. We went really in-depth into this, and I kind of left it out there for different people to hear and listen. And I see a lot of people in the media are starting to listen to that show, and they're starting to kind of create their own stories around this. And that's good. You know, again, give me credit where credit is due. I did get the conversation started. But we're talking about the NIL. Why aren't the schools paying the money? Why aren't the schools paying the money? The schools were the ones that were starting investigations, ratting out coaches and stuff to the, NCAA.
In your face, sucker!
Bringing in, we had a whole movie about it, The Blind Side. You know, that whole saga in that movie with Michael Orr and the investigators from Ole Miss and all these different things. And it's like, okay, you make a cool Disney movie about it and it's all great and grand, but the people who should be, or the organizations that should be paying the kids, and I'm telling you right now, that would stop all the transfers. If you want to talk about the transfer portal, which we kind of disagree on that a little bit. But if the school paid the player, as in, go back to the Fab Five, black Nike socks, 5 jerseys, Jalen Rose, you had the Chris Webber jerseys, the King jersey, the whole top 5, whole starting 5 for Michigan, you could go buy their jersey. You could go buy Vince Carter jerseys, number 15 Carolina jersey. No name on it, but you knew who it was. That stuff doesn't exist anymore. So I'm saying to myself, who's paying these kids? Because, again, if you're a transfer, and again, if you any college athletes out there listening to me, take some money, say you're from Vegas. You take an NIL deal from one of these local car dealerships. You play for UNLV. Oh, it don't work out. Coach ain't working out. You know, the game ain't working. I ain't getting no playing time. So you transfer up to Washington. Now, what's to stop that local dealership, especially here in Vegas, for asking for a clawback? You hear that word? It's called clawback. Oh, let me say it again. Clawback. It's a business term, meaning that if you change the terms of the contract via location, it's called a material change, people. Okay? Companies or entities that do business with you have a right to ask for their money back. So if you say you're an 18, 19-year-old kid, you sign with a local dealership, doesn't work out with the coach, you don't get the playing time, you don't influence like you think you would influence, and you transfer to another school, what's to say that those companies won't ask for that money back? Now, on the flip side, if UNLV was paying you $50,000 a year as an athletic bonus on top of academic requirements and things for being in that athletic program, I think you'd be more hard-pressed in the mind of a young student to say, getting 50 grand here, all I got to do is stay eligible and stay on the team. You'd be more hard-pressed to do that transfer than if you said, well, look, I don't care. I took the money from the dealership. I'm going to just bounce and see what happens. That's what these young kids are doing because they're not getting any advice. There's no system in place for these kids. As soon as the NIL passed, you had all these major agencies with millions and billions of dollars already open up a division, a high school division. You talk about the Cavender twins, young ladies that were playing down at University of Miami. They were like, they're not coming back for a fifth year. I'm like, why would they even come back? For what? WWE just signed them. They're going to be the new Intercontinental Women's Tag Team Champions one day soon. I'm just telling you how this game goes, man. If the schools paid these young men rather than these third-party companies, I think that it would be more valuable to the sport. And that's where everything changed, because when they took the ability to pay the young men from and the young ladies, when they took that ability from them to get paid for, 150 years in college sports, amateurism, talking about, well, you got to pay, play for free here. We give you an education. And Linwood talked about this, the different various issues that have gone on with that system. But we all knew the guys were getting money under the table. Now that it's an availability legally, quote unquote, legally, for these guys to get money for their play, for these young guys and girls to get money for their play, why do you think the schools who used to make so much of this revenue, we heard about it, selling the jerseys, selling the T-shirts. You heard the players talking about it. I look up in the stands, I see my number, but I don't get a piece of that. I think it's quite odd that now that these universities have to let their players earn some type of money, that the university has chipped out on that responsibility. Ron, what are your thoughts with that? Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I mean, basically, the boosters are legalized to pay the kids now. So they basically legalized illegal recruiting is what they did. I mean, it's really, if you look at it,
it's like the whole weed thing. It's like, well, everybody's smoking it. Let's just sell it in stores. But like I said before, if you, quote unquote, are legalizing this whole thing that's supposed to be illegal recruiting and illegal payments, I mean, that's the thing that I don't quite understand about this whole illegality of it. If the guys are good enough to make a couple dollars, you can put a few dollars in their pocket and you can help them along the way in their college career. It went on for years, but now it's out in the open. But it's out in the open and it's a broken glass, or it's a glass with the little hair on it that they bring you from the, the restaurant if you go somewhere it's a little bit dirty. You know how that goes. And people are looking at this going, man, this can't sustain. And like I said before, what would really clean it all up, because these guys were the purveyors of all the problems years and years ago, is if the schools would start paying these kids. They make enough money. Start selling the kids' jerseys again. Start putting their names and their numbers back on T-shirts and selling it. Because like I said, when I went to the NIT, I didn't see not one item devoted to one of the quote-unquote student athletes as an individual. And I think that's a shame because, again, if the schools were making so much money, quote-unquote, so much money off of these kids, why don't they just keep making that money off of these kids but kick them a percentage? No, what they did was they passed the buck on to the boosters, the third-party companies. Like you said, they just legalize the system that was already in place. But see, what's happening is it's a double-edged sword. And we'll talk a little bit more about that and get into this Sacramento Kings Golden State Warriors series when we get back. Again, Ron, third down, best bets, Vegas Scoreboard Express, giving up a little bit of bread and circus. I hope you guys like that. I told you, I'm very astute in what's going on in sports. I just don't do sports betting and wake up in the morning early and be yelling. It's like, no, I understand what's going on from a business perspective, from an insider's perspective, because I've been around these sports for over 25 years. I know what's going on. But when we come back from this short commercial break, going to give you some NBA picks, maybe talk a little bit more about this NIL, because it's very interesting to see one of the elder statesmen of college football just lay it all out there and say, in Sports Illustrated, hey, it is what it is. But Ron, any shout-outs before I take this short commercial break? Again, thank you so much for your comments on that. Giving grease. Go ahead.
Yeah, for my main man here in town, Eric Masters, Dad Master One.
There you go, Eric Masters. Thank you so much for listening to the show. And again, you guys follow and stay tuned. JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express, KSHP, AM 1400. Time to get that money.
You're listening to the boss of the big board, JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that grease.
Sunday mornings at 6 on AM 1400 KSHP North Las Vegas. Online at KSHP.com.
Shopping is always easy with the Radio Shopping Show. Whether it's shopping during any one of our live shows right here on AM 1400 or listening live on the KSHP app, you can always call in at 702-221-7283 to pick up great deals with your favorite host. Or shop 24/7 at KSHP.com. Go to KSHP.com and select Shopper's Guide to browse hundreds of businesses featured on the show. Place your order online and we'll have it shipped right to your front door. With so many possibilities, it's hard not to shop.
The Klondike Casino is a friendly local spot that features their signature restaurant, the Klondike Grill, serving up fresh food fast. Open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner just off the 95 freeway on Sunset Road in Henderson. You will find the Klondike Casino featuring all your favorite games from the Strip in the comfort of a neighborhood casino. You can place a bet at their full-service sports book or start your day with a breakfast plate that comes with your choice of potato and toast. Or check us out for lunch or dinner and try one of our many sandwiches like the popular beer-battered fish sandwich or the Philly cheesesteak. Check out the full menu at KlondikeSunset.com.
Basketball season is heating up, so stay in the game with Fubo TV. Get the NBA, NCAA, FIBA, and more. Get 7 days free at VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Don't get cabled. Get Fubo TV.
Keep it locked with your boy on the ones and twos. Going in on the wheels of steel.
You're listening to the boss of the big board. That's the choice.
This is it. The cocaine and the crack.
They all sound the same to me.
There's a war going on outside. No man is safe from.
That's how I'm living.
That's how we do it. That's just the way it is. That's the reason why I came to you.
Drink and women and money.
Vegas Scoreboard Express, my main man Ron, third down, best bets. Still on the line with us. You're rocking with the boss of the big board, JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express, AM 1400 KSHP every Saturday and Sunday morning. Waking you up early to put that cash in your pocket. Ron, you're still on the line with me. Go ahead.
I am here, my man. I'm here.
So glad to have you back. We're going to jump into this Golden State and Sacramento game. Again, you guys can watch these games over on Fubo TV. Go to FuboTV.com/JB, giving you 15% off. You can also go over to BetUS.com. I'm hooking you up with the online sports book. VSX125 is the promo code to get you 125% bonus on your deposit. So again, talking about this Golden State Warriors Sacramento game, -1, Golden State rotation number 507. This is the late night game coming on from the West Coast. It's a pick'em on BetUS, -1 pick'em plus or -237.5. I don't even see a money line on this game. How did the Sacramento Kings get so good so fast to compete against the former champions Golden State Warriors. Ron, sounds like you're over there fighting a bunch of Smurfs, man. What's going on?
No.
Sounds like you got a bunch of Smurfs snapping at your kneecaps. Give me the mic, give me the mic. But anyway, Golden State Warriors. Golden State Warriors,
They're
man.
looking for grease, bro.
I'm telling you, they looking for that grease. They looking for it. You already know. Got them California munchkins, those people, the hills have eyes crawling out there trying to find you. I have no idea where you are. But anyway, Golden State, man, this team has been around last decade. They were the team of the 2010s. Splash Brothers fell apart. Clay, never quite came back from his injuries. Got Steph Curry kicking around now, becoming one of the elder statesmen of the NBA. Sacramento Kings, upstart team, playing their hearts out. No one talked about them all season. You didn't even see them coming. 48-34. They got a terrible spread record, though, 18-22. We don't like that. But they're 23-18 at home. So Golden State, 11-30 on the road, straight up, 11-28 on the road, not covering any spreads for Golden State. Different matchup, different teams. So let's talk about it a little bit, Ron, because I know you follow these two teams. What is going on with this? Because like I said, the best price game is, of course, the New York Knicks, Cleveland Cavaliers. Again, I gave out Knicks, rotation number 505. Make it 555. Dial it up. Put that cash in your pocket. Take him in the points. Take him money line if you're not scared. Rotation number 505, plus 5 in the points versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. Golden State, Sacramento Kings is a pick 'em. Rotation 507, Golden State. 508 for Sacramento. The game looks like a snoozer to me. Go ahead.
I'm going to go with my gut on this one. And my gut is just singing Sacramento in game one. I don't know why, but I'm just going with the Kings in this game. I'm feeling it. They're a good team. Golden State has not really been together all season. They've been hurt. And they'll put it together here, but I don't think they're going to put it together in game one. So I'm going to go with Sacramento at home.
All right, Sacramento at home. And again, you guys can watch these games over on Fubo TV. Vegas Scoreboard Express. When I get back from this short commercial break, Bay Area, you guys are up in there. Golden State versus Sacramento. Again, this game is a snoozer for me. I'm probably going to be asleep by the time this one comes on. Again, like you said before, Steph Curry, different team. These guys are playing hard. Sacramento, I'm just going to watch it to see what they do. Ron likes Sacramento in the first game. You can take him at home. Should be able to put some cash in your pocket. It is a pick 'em, so you might have to put him as a parlay. But it's kind of dangerous, though. -1 pick 'em. I'm not too sure. Again, I like the New York Knicks, rotation number 505 today at Cleveland to stay within the points total. But again, don't be surprised if Cleveland takes home the win. So I think they can stay close. +5, +5.5 if you can get it. And then the Philadelphia 76ers, my pick to win it today, but it's just too expensive. I like that total, 214, possibly going to go over. That can put some cash in your pockets. Ron, you hang on the line. I'm going to come back with you just after this short commercial break, and then we're going to get out of here. You guys can get over to the book. Make your bets. Again, go to betus.com. Use offer code VSX125. I'm hooking you up. KSHP.com. Got all the daily deals from the Home Shopping Show. Going to have Ralph Sirocco talking that baloney meat. The horses coming up with race day at 8 a.m. So you guys are going to want to stay tuned. Keep it locked here on KSHP, JB the Ticket, and Vegas Scoreboard Express. You know what I'm about getting that money.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JBTHETICKET. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that grace.
Vegas Scoreboard Express, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 6 on AM 1400 KSHP North Las Vegas. Online at KSHP.com.
Basketball season is heating up, so stay in the game with Fubo TV. Get the NBA, NCAA, FIBA, and more. Get 7 days free at VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Don't get cabled. Get Fubo TV.
Yo, you in the mix. World's finest, man.
And I had to come to him.
The DJ keeping the party going. The DJ keeping the party going all night long.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JBTHETICKET. Vegas Scoreboard Express.
JB the Ticket Vegas Scoreboard Express back at you live. KSHP getting ready to sign off with you this morning. My main man Ron, third down, best bets. Let's do a quick roll down. Brooklyn, rotation number 501. Brooklyn Nets on the road versus the Philadelphia 76ers. What do you see this one going? Rotation number 502. Philadelphia minus 8.5 at home. Or do you like the Brooklyn Nets with that plus 8.5? Talk to me, Ron. Go ahead.
I like the Sixers. Linwood Hamilton Sixers.
There you go, Linwood Hamilton Hard Rock Sixers. Giving you the grease. Rounding it out, Atlanta versus Boston. Rotation number 503. The Atlanta Hawks are on the road, heading up the 95 to Boston. It should be a warm weekend up there. Rotation number 504. Boston minus 9 at home. Atlanta plus 9. Big money line at plus 320. Do you think the Atlanta Hawks have any grease? Are they a dog that's barking, or is animal control on patrol? Go ahead.
Somebody call.
Boston, we're looking at the Shamrocks today, baby, the Celtics.
Telling you, take those Shamrocks. Rotation number 504. Don't be scared. Bet the Boston Celtics. And then rounding out the night game again, Golden State. This is the snoozer. It's the late one. Rotation number 507. The Golden State Warriors. A pick'em going up the road, up the 405 to Sacramento. Rotation number 508. Total 237. Ron, who do you got?
Well, you can't have a queen without a king. Sacramento Kings.
It's telling you to pick those Sacramento Kings. So again, Ron, thank you so much for your contributions today. You guys know my game, pick of the day, New York Knicks plus 5, rotation number 505. That's right, 505. Dial it up. It should be able to get you paid. Again, thank you so much for stopping by the big board, Ron. Appreciate all your contributions. Again, tomorrow you guys are going to want to stay tuned. Got my main man, Scotty, Beam Him Up Webb from the East Coast Sports Investors and MLB Daily, going to be keeping you locked in with the baseball season, giving you the picks that you need. His Tampa Bay Rays are doing great. Best record in baseball right now so far. Also going to try to link up with my main man, Parnell St. True, giving you some more NFL draft inside information so you can make those prop bets and get where you want to be. So, Ron, before we get out of here, any final shout-outs? Any pushes? Anything that you want to put out there? Business? Tell people to buy ads. Again, KSHP VSX, we're selling ads. Check out the website. I can get your business out there. Send your clients, send your customers early in the morning. Vegas Scoreboard Express, appreciate everybody out there for what you're doing. Tune in tomorrow, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. if you wake up early or if you're at work. I'm going to be giving you the best picks for the NBA playoffs going forward. So again, you guys know what time it is. Time to grab your bankroll. Hit the window and beat the line. Go to my website, Vegas Scoreboard Express. Check out that NIL show. Going to be giving you guys more bread and circus as the year goes on. So, like I said before, lock and load with JB the Ticket. I'm out of here. See you in the morning, guys. Let's get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the big boss, JBTHETICKET. Vegas Scoreboard Express.
World famous radio shopping show weekday on 1400 KSHP North Las Vegas and KSHP.com.